Hello again, everybody. Time to sit down because this is poetry time. Listen in and do not interrupt me, although it's practically impossible because this is a video unless you were to pause and comment, but it still wouldn't be direct. I wouldn't know when you were to pause it, so I would still not be interrupted anyhow. So, it's time for a My Little Pony themed poem, and it's not Fallout Equestria if you would assume that. It's been actually a while since I've actually just made poetry that was related to the actual fandom directly related to the fandom that actually exists. It's like fictional fiction. It's like I was writing fictional poetry based on fictional characters. It's weird. It's like it's subgenre of fiction. It's something that is fictional within the fictional universe is fiction. I can't stop that. I'm gonna stop saying that. So this one's called Best Pony, and it's about this whole idea of segregation of the whole who's better than the other. It's funny because I had an orientation and I wrote Best Pony with a question mark because I was fucking bored to tears at the orientation, and I thought to myself, wait, this would be a pretty good title for a poem, except cut out the question mark. So it's just an idea. So anyway, enough of my life story. Let's get down to business to read the poem Best Pony. Twilight Sparkle, because nothing can be or will be smarter or more dorkable, if that is a word to her. Fluttershy, because nothing in this world can stop the hearts of so many fans beneath her utter demur. Applejack, because nothing can be as honest and straightforward with what she sets her mind to. Rarity, because nothing could bedazzle and create such articulate dresses with the complexity of one. Rainbow Dash, because nothing can run as fast or be as fast while maintaining that certain kind of benevolent arrogance. Pinkie Pie, because nothing could step out of the bounds of their universe, bend physics to its utter will for no rhyme or reason. Because nothing can say that my pony isn't the best pony unless you have the facts I don't want to hear. Twilight Sparkle, because nothing can try to default science and whimsical beliefs, worry or create the most insane of anxiety. Fluttershy, because nothing could be foreseen as a wobbly chair needed to be helped by strong arms whenever they can't handle themselves. Applejack, because nothing has their mind on the riches more than she can, and does that pervade the line of her honesty? Rarity, because nothing could contradict what they say and mean beneath a velvet cloth full of translucent innards. Rainbow Dash, because nothing can tell her that her laziness and need for egotism spans the true worries of self-worth. No. Pinkie Pie, because nothing allows her to stay grounded, and for that, how do we know anything she says can be fact? Because nothing that you say will deny my pony is the best pony, unless my reasonable self takes over my ignorant demeanor. Because nothing that could or would evaluate the statements of the best pony ever bothers to come across to me as legitimate. Is the best pony. It's kind of nice. I'm actually currently inspired right now to make another poem. and I got the title for it. I haven't written it. I haven't started typing it down. It's called "But God Said." Yep. I don't usually try to tackle anti-religious poems frequently because it's a very sensitive topic to get to, and if I don't write it carefully, I can get flagged and I can get a lot of hate. I mean, I'm not saying that I don't expect any kind of criticism. I just don't want to make it seem like as if being religious is something wrong. There's something wrong with just being religious. It's not that. It's having these certain kinds of attitudes that don't make any sense to the idea of happiness and tolerance of others and whatnot. And that's usually the problem I have with religion, or with certain religious people, is that they always take the book by fact. They take this book paraphrased 2,000 years ago, written by some people, but claim to be written by God as fact. And the problem with that, it's like taking the Constitution as fact. Well, everything that it was meant to be. I mean, the laws are adjusted to our rights, but they were made in 1776, and with the improvements of technology, it's hard to say that they can hold any ground, because the right to bear arms, it doesn't really specify what arms we can hold, and back then they only had muskets that shot once. They were very inaccurate, and it took you 20 minutes to just load them and whatnot, and fighting methods have changed since then. I mean, there's no such thing as Queen's rules anymore. There isn't like a bunch of line. You have to have flanks. It's been more stealth missions, and even if there is armed combat within range and eyesight, there is automatic weapons that can shoot about 600 rounds per 600 rounds per minute, and can be reloaded in mere seconds as well. And there's clip mechanisms too. And there's attachments and auto sights, and there's even there's a mechanization. That's not a word. There's modifications to the type of bullets you're using. There's tracer rounds. There's even incendiary and explosive as well, explosive tip and whatnot. There's nuclear missiles as well. It's hard to say that the Second Amendment is very specific upon that, the right to bear arms. It doesn't specify that, well, I could have a nuclear missile and not be within my Second Amendment rights because it says arms. It doesn't say only guns. It doesn't say pistols or assault rifles, missiles, or a missile silo in my backyard. I could have a missile silo in my backyard and it'd be perfectly fine because it's within my Second Amendment rights. Just as long as I'm 18, I can carry any gun I fucking wish. So that's the problem I have, is that these fundamentalists, as I like to call them, I'm not going to say they're Christian because they don't seem to understand the true plight with the Bible is that they like to take the book by fact, even though it's made 2,000 years ago. So anyway, this has gone too long, so this will just be a poem. I will make a discussion about this later on. So